Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the next episode of Joe Kelley's Psychedelic Experience. What's going on with you, my friend? Your old pal Joe here, checking in with you on a motherfucking Monday. How's it going? How's it hanging? Listen. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing better than you ever thought you possibly could be doing, you know? And if you're not, hey, that's okay. But get your shit together, all right? The month pretty much over. We got 1 day left. We got 1 day left of no cum January, no booze January, and no smoking January, you know? So, what the fuck have you been doing all goddamn month? Other than not getting your shit together if it ain't together, you know what I mean? What the fuck, people? What the fuck have you been sitting around doing? Watching fucking that 90s show or some bullshit? Listen, you don't need to waste your fucking time. You grew up in the 90s. You know what it was like. Don't be feeling nostalgic about a fucking time that wasn't that great to begin with. Sure, you were a child, but who gives a fuck? Move on, grow up. Life should be getting better as you get older. You have more opportunities to do things and explore the world and explore yourself. But instead, they want you to focus on the fact that you had a good time when you were a fucking kid and now your life sucks. Hey, your life don't have to suck. Get your fucking shit together, all right? And tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but Wednesday, we can all bust a big, fat, hot nut. We made it through the whole month without coming, everybody. Maybe you participated with me, maybe you didn't. But Wednesday's gonna come, and so am I, baby. And so am I. And boy, oh boy, I can't wait. I might wait till Thursday to do it, to be honest with you. I don't have this urge to fucking come or even smoke or drink. But I think I have it planned out, ladies and gentlemen. I think my big celebration for being such a good boy all goddamn month is I think I'm going to go, I think I'm going to treat myself on Wednesday. Going to go get a seafood boil maybe. And then maybe go out and have a beer somewhere. Just go somewhere. I haven't explored any of the bars in the new town I'm in Clarksville, Tennessee. So I might go out to a bar, get a beer, and then, but before I do that, I might get a nice bottle of whiskey and then come back here to the old place, put some whiskey in a cup with a little bit of ice, have a couple sips of that, and just enjoy myself. You know what I mean? So we'll see how that goes. That might all change because I do plan on smoking some DMT on the 31st and just reflecting. Or not reflecting, I guess just doing whatever it is that DMT is going to do to me. I've never done DMT, but that was a big part of just flushing my system for the month is going, hey, if I'm going to have one of the most powerful psychedelics known to mankind, maybe I should go into it with a clear mind, a clean body, and, really experience what it's all about. So stay tuned next week, guys. I'll give you an update on the old DMT trip, but I figure that might change my complete perspective on having a drink come the first. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, enough of this rambling. Let's get to the important shit, you know? Hey, I'm doing this podcast early because I got to be out of town this weekend. But if you came out to the shows in Raleigh, hey, I appreciate it. I'm going to assume they went well. I'm going to assume I had a lot of fun, but I won't know until I get back. But I won't, I got to do the podcast for you guys before. It's all about having your shit together, right? So the podcast, we're recording this on a Thursday. You won't hear it till Monday. But I'm going to assume everything in Raleigh went great. Show's coming up in February. Listen, if you're in the Nashville area, come through February 9th to Sonny's Patio Pub and Refuge. I'm headlining that show. Really looking forward to it. Should be a good one. Brad Sativa, Monty Mitchell will be joining me. Going to be a great show, everybody. Also, the 10th and the 11th of February, I'll be in Omaha, Nebraska with my good buddy Aaron Weber doing some clean comedy out there at the Funny Bone. Back in Nashville, February 15th, Fat Bottom Brewing. That should be a fun one. No clean comedy there. And then I'll be in Michigan the 24th and the 25th of this month, or of February, I should say. February 24th, Memphis, Michigan. February 25th, Flint, Michigan, Timothy's Pub. Get your fucking asses there. That's going to be a fucking hoot and a goddamn holler. I'll also be in Lowell, Arkansas next month. That means March, as well as St. Louis. And then I'll be in Syracuse at the end of the month. And I already got some stuff lined up in May for Kentucky. Go to joekellycomedy.com for all the upcoming shows. I'm looking at being in Texas sometime in April as well. So keep an eye on me. I'll keep you fine people updated. But other than that, you can look on the website, everybody. How was your weekend? How's your week been? What'd you get into? Hey, listen, it's confirmed Alec Baldwin is a murderer, everybody. Alec Baldwin killed a woman in cold blood, and the courts have finally, I guess, reached justice. You know, I knew it all along. That guy was a bad fella. He killed that lady. They said it was manslaughter, but we all know it was premeditated. Here on the podcast, we all know it was premeditated. This guy had a grudge against that woman for no particular reason other than that I think it was his time to perform the blood sacrifice that he's owed to the Illuminati for all the years he's been famous, and he finally got around to doing it by killing that poor woman. So, you know, justice was served. Alec Baldwin, a murderer. I'm so happy. I'm very happy. Did you see it, people? Did you see justice reigning supreme in America once again by convicting Alec Baldwin of being a cold-blooded, evil murderer? Oh, it was so good. You know, he feels bad about it. Not about the murdering, but just about the fact that he is a murderer, that they caught on to his game, and now he's going to have to live with that forever. You know, that was I think that guy's a piece of shit and good riddance. I wish he was going to jail. I don't think he'd go to jail for manslaughter, you know, but I think he was hoping they were going to think it was an accident. But anybody who knows Alec Baldwin knows that he is a murderer and loves killing people. So good on him. I'm glad that chapter in our book can finally get laid to rest. Alec Baldwin is a murderer, you know? That poor lady. You know, you can't bring people back, but justice is served, you know? I think him and what was it, the prop person, whoever was in charge of arming Alec Baldwin during that tragic day, will also be convicted of manslaughter. So, you know, I know we've been pulling for first degree murder charge, but you can't have everything in life, you know? So I think we just need to count our lucky stars and be thankful that at least the manslaughter charge is sticking, and Alec Baldwin will forever be remembered as a murderer. And I think that's, you know, that brings a little bit of hope to 2023. I know people have been, you know, this year's going to be a bad one. Inflation's high. The economy's not doing well, all this and that. World War III might be coming. But, you know, there's good things happening too. Alec Baldwin being convicted of manslaughter, I think, is a great thing. I think that gives a little bit of potential for the rest of the year to turn around, you know? I think it's... You know, you got to find little rays of sunshine because it ain't shining all the time. But, you know, you take the ones that you can get that peek through the clouds, and hopefully that builds some momentum for the rest of the year, you know. But fuck that guy. I don't like him. I don't trust him. I think he killed that lady on purpose. And I'm glad that justice has been served, you know. I think we could all celebrate. Here's a toast to the fine justice system in America, which has never failed us once ever, once again not failing us again. God bless the court system in America. Checks and balances, you know, I love those fucking things. But I just want to start the podcast with a little bit of good news. It seems like it's been heavy the past couple of weeks, but Alec Baldwin, a murderer, and that's a very good thing. What else has been going on in the news? Did you guys see that Damar Hamlin, that fella that suffered from cardiac arrest from the Buffalo Bills, did you see that they replaced him with a clone? It's just something they do all the time. But they dragged out the old body double. You know, it's been all the rage on the internet. They're like, oh, Damar Hamlin's back at the Buffalo Bills stadium, and then, you know, people got their they go, that's fake Damar Hamilton. That's the clone. And then he posted the thing on Twitter that he said, hey, it is a clone. You know, sometimes these people hide things in plain sight, so you got to be a little bit skeptical about it, you know? Whether or not Damar Hamlin is a clone of the former Damar Hamlin that suffered cardiac arrest, probably due to his COVID vaccine that he got, you know? I'm not saying it had anything to do with it, but it might have had something to do with it. It seems the more news that comes out and the more it seems like it might have, but what do I know? I know nothing. But I just like that we're in this day and age where nobody can trust anything anymore. And I don't know if it's a good thing or it's a bad thing, but it's certainly enjoyable to watch. I think it's a great thing that people can, come out and go, hey, that guy's a clone. Because, maybe, do you guys believe that human beings have been clones? Let's start there. Do you think it's possible? Do you think it's something that has happened? Or do you think it's just some sci-fi shit that we're not there quite yet? Because a lot of the stuff I read and people I listen to do believe that there are clones walking amongst us, I'm not one to have too much of an opinion. I wish that was true. I wish there were clones walking among us. If you go back to 1966, there was a fatal car crash that Paul McCartney was involved in. I don't know how many of you guys know about that, but Paul McCartney, the original Paul McCartney, was killed in a car crash in 1966. But the record companies, they couldn't stand to lose out on their money that the Beatles would be making for them. So they replaced Paul McCartney with Fall McCartney, fake Paul McCartney. Now, whether or not that's just a lookalike or a clone, that's up for debate, okay? But what cannot be argued is the fact that Paul McCartney did die in a car crash in 1966 and was replaced in order for the greedy record companies to continue making money. Now, cut to 2023, here we are, Buffalo Bills fella, he collapses on the field for whatever reason. Nobody's exactly sure why. Nobody's exactly sure why all these people are just collapsing. All these news reporters are just fucking shaking, having seniors falling down for no reason. That just seems to be happening quite a bit. Nobody knows why exactly. Maybe it has to do with poor diet. Who knows? But the point is, who stands to make money by implementing a fake Damar Hamlin? Who does? The NFL, of course. Of course. I don't know how exactly. But I read something on Twitter that the NFL, because something has, if they replace Damar Hamlin with fake Damar Hamlin, they make money somehow, even though he probably died, according to a couple people on Twitter. I don't know. I personally, listen, tragedies happen and that's never a good thing, but you should have finished playing the fucking football game, I come from a day and age, people, and maybe I'm a little bit out of touch with where the world is at nowadays and the youth and outrage and life and death. Maybe I'm a little bit out of touch, but I come from an era. I grew up in the 90s, you know what I mean? I grew up in an era when in 1999, at a WWF pay-per-view called Over the Edge, Owen Hart of the infamous Hart family, the foundation, one of the fucking greatest families in the wrestling business, fell from the scaffolding, whatever it was, 90 feet up in the air into the ring and died. And they continued the show. You know what I mean? So, I just think you should keep playing the fucking football game despite someone's got hurt. So what? You know what I mean? You play the game. You fucking should just, maybe I'm a little bit insensitive. You know what I mean? But I thought part of football was your warriors and your gladiators, and you're not a bunch of pussies who get your panties in a bunch because someone might have died. Nut up. Finish the fucking game, will you? That was the one Monday Night Football game. I was like, let me watch Monday Night Football. I don't know when the last time I watched Monday Night Football was. Might have been in 1999 for all I know. And then I turn it on, and then some guys falling over, and then they're canceling the fucking game, I didn't fucking got time for that shit. Come on now. All I'm saying is, if you're gonna, I don't know exactly what I'm saying, just play the fucking game, will you? Play the fucking football game. Why is everyone got to be sensitive and pretend to care about people? We don't care about people. You know what I mean? As a society, as a culture, as individuals, we don't really give a shit when somebody dies. We pretend to on the internet because it makes us look good. Because you don't want to look bad on the internet in front of strangers. That's what we do. You know, everyone's going to bullshit you and go, oh, that's a tragedy that happened. Listen, I don't give a fuck. You don't give a fuck. Most people don't give a fuck. They give a fuck on the internet because it makes them look good. So who gives a shit if some football player dies playing football? It's part of the game. You know what I mean? You fucking went out doing the thing you love. That's the point of it, you know? That's the beauty of it. You fucking loved the game so much it killed you. God, that's beautiful, man. That's fucking beautiful. Imagine being in love with somebody and it just kills you so much to be apart. It fucking tears at your soul to see them with somebody else. You murder them. That's fucking beautiful. You know, it's a fucking beautiful love story. Anytime you love somebody so much that you decide to kill them, that's fucking love. That's what everybody wants in life. But we all pretend to be sensitive and, oh, terrible things happen to good people and we don't like that. You love it. You love it when bad things happen, you know? Anyway, I'm not going to pretend to be a good fucking person. Why would I do that? Especially on the internet. The internet's supposed to be the most fun place on earth, and everyone just seems to be a fucking pussy all the time. I don't know why. I don't know when that happened. I don't know when everybody became a pussy and just pretended to start caring about when other people are sick and dying. Because they don't. Remember when the whole 2020, when the pandemic started happening and COVID came out, and there were a whole bunch of people wishing that anybody who didn't get vaccinated or wear a mask died? Remember that? And then they want to turn around and pretend to be good people and then care about people when they fucking fall over on a football field. You can't have it both ways, people. You're either good and caring all the time, which most people aren't anyway, or you don't give a shit about anybody ever except for yourself and maybe the fucking people around you, you know? Which is how most people are. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But you can't have it both fucking ways. You can't go, hey, I hope a large group of people die, and then go, oh no, I'm a good person. I'm a good person because the guy fell over on the football field and boy, they should stop playing that football game. Bullshit. Get out there, throw a fucking touchdown pass, will you? Quit with the nonsense, people. Quit pretending to be so goddamn caring about one another because it's nonsense. We're not. If we were, we wouldn't be in the damn shape we're in right now if everybody was a good person and cared about one another. You'd have fucking homeless people sleeping on your couch and eating your goddamn food if you really cared about other people, but you don't. And you shouldn't. They're fucking lunatics. They'll fucking hit you in the face with an axe, you know? So, just don't pretend. I'm not going to pretend. I think they should have kept playing the goddamn game. But again, I'm from a different era. When Owen Hart died in the middle of the wrestling ring, they goddamn continued the pay-per-view, you know? And Vince McMahon and the WWF did catch a lot of flack for that, but the show must go on, people. You can't stop the fucking game because someone might have died, didn't even die, or did he die and was replaced by a clone. I believe that was the beginning of how we got to this part was, do you think Damar Hamlin is a clone or not? Might be, might not be. But do you think it's possible? Do you think human clones exist? Do you think there are people walking around in very lifelike masks pretending to be people who they aren't? Let's ask you that, people. Because there was a part, a fucking, what would it be called? I don't fucking know the word for it. I can't think of it. A part of the CIA that was in charge of making these fake, very lifelike masks. There was a lady who was in charge of it. What the fuck was the name of that part of the agency? God damn it. It was like some subsection. It was like fucking can't remember. But the lady who was in charge of it, who was in charge of making these very lifelike masks to fool people into thinking they're different human beings, she knew this was in the 80s too, when the first George H.W. Bush was president, who used to be the director of the CIA, by the way. Nothing weird about that when a organization that is in charge of misinformation and misleading people becomes the president. Nothing weird about that at all. Nothing weird about that. But so she sat down to like interview. Apparently she knew George H.W. Bush. They had talked. They knew who each other were. But she put on one of these masks, had a full-blown interview with him, and he didn't realize it was her. He thought he was talking to some other lady. So there's a lot of talk going on right now that the Joe Biden we see is just some fellow wearing a Joe Biden mask that looks very lifelike. Do you think that's a possibility? Not is it happening? Of course it's not happening. Of course nobody lies to you. Of course nobody wants to lead you astray. You know, nobody's trying to lull you to sleep every night and make sure that everything's okay in your mind, even though it's not. Nobody's trying to do that to you. But do you think it's possible? That's all I'm asking. Do you think it's possible? Is it possible? Which leads me into my next thing, which I saw is, is very weird. And it's like that fucking movie, The Faculty. But I saw it was a parasite that will, it gets inside snails. It infects snails, right? And I don't know exactly how it gets inside the snail, if the snail consumes it or whatever it is. But basically it takes over the snail tentacles, little eyeballs coming out of its head, right? So what this parasite does is it gets inside the snail and gets into its little eyeballs and its little eye cavities, and it starts mimicking a caterpillar. So the eyes of a snail will look like a caterpillar. So when a bird will then come by and go, hey, that looks like a delicious caterpillar, eats the caterpillar, and then the parasite can then lay its eggs inside the bird's stomach. Pretty freaky shit. But with that being said, do you think that happens? Has that ever happened to people? Are there parasites that will take over the human mind and make them mimic something that they are not? Is that possible? I know it's like the movie The Faculty. Maybe it's fucking sci-fi. But this was a while ago, that there are, I think it's parasites in cats in Brazil that they fuck with human beings' heads down there. So I can't remember. I fucking don't know. I know the parasites don't directly get into human beings, I don't think, but it has something to do with cats and people being around the cats that are carrying the parasite, where it makes men more aggressive and women more submissive. Now, that's something that happens in Brazil. Of course, that doesn't happen in America. We don't have bad things that happen here. But do you think it's possible? Because I've also seen the thing where the parasites will fucking, they get inside like grasshoppers and basically take over the grasshopper's brain and make it like a robot and make it walk to the highest point on a tree to where it gets the most sunlight. And then we'll fucking, I guess that was a mushroom parasite. It fucking takes over the brain of like a grasshopper or something like that, makes it walk to the peak of a tree or somewhere where it's like out on a branch where it gets a lot of sunlight. And then it just makes the grasshopper sit there until it dies. And then it fucking shoots its fucking hot goddamn parasite load all over everybody. You guys ever hear about that? Just say, is it possible that that has happened with human beings? I know it's not a pleasant thought. I know it might be unlikely. But if parasites can fucking take over a snail's brain and a grasshopper's brain and all these other fucking animals and critters and species, why couldn't it happen to human beings? Why is it unlikely that there's a parasite out there that will basically make a human being a robot? We call that parasite television, I believe, but what the fuck do I know? Just a thought, just thinking outside of the box, people. Just having my sober mind wondering about all this shit, going, well, if it's possible that parasites can take over a grasshopper and make it do what it wants, is it possible that that has happened to human beings? Maybe not all of us, but is it possible that it's happened to a few? Is it possible that people wear masks and pretend, very lifelike masks, and pretend to be somebody they are not? Is that possible? I don't know. The world seems to be getting stranger and stranger, but maybe it's all in my mind. Maybe my mind is what's getting stranger and I'm just projecting it onto the world. Maybe I'm just should stop reading the things that I'm reading and watching the things that I'm watching. But good Lord, I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing, you know? So what was it? Morgan chimed in. She goes, do you do that on purpose? Will you have a controversial opinion and then go, I don't know nothing, and maybe I'm just fucking talking out of my ass? It's both. It's both. I can never be too certain of my own nonsense that I think. Here's the thing. Robert Anton Wilson. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. Check out some of his books. He's my favorite author ever. He always had a thing where it's... you should never buy into anybody's BS too much, which could stand for bullshit or belief system. You should never buy into anybody's belief system too much, and you should never buy into your own belief system too much either. So that's where I sit with it. I like to think these wild thoughts, and I'm pretty sure that I'm right. But I can never be too certain. Anybody you meet who is completely sure of themselves all the time is a lunatic and should not be trusted. I'll say that. I can only go, based off my own nonsense. So no, I'm not doing it on purpose. It's just how my fucking brain works, to where I go, these people are evil, but maybe they're good people. I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? But it seems there's evil in the world who are hiding behind masks and maybe fucking parasites that have taken over good, normal human beings. You know what I mean? And that's why all these celebrities, instead of them being clones, maybe once you get to a certain position of power, you fucking, you go to one of these eyes wide shut parties and you go, a toast, everybody. A toast to our new fucking millionaire friends. And then everybody drinks their toast, but in the toast, in the champagne, there's a little parasite that gets inside you. And then you can just be controlled. Money is a good controller. Television, maybe it's not maybe the parasites are a little bit different when it comes to human beings. I don't know what I'm talking about. You know me, just rambling, just talking nonsense, but I'm right, by God. Oh, I don't know how long we've been going. Let's do a couple more things. Everybody seemed to enjoy the podcast last week, so I appreciate that. It was a little bit more... different podcasts. People seem to enjoy. There was a more vulnerability in the last week's podcast, rather than the nonsense I've been doing this podcast, just rambling about nothing. I got to make a couple of corrections. My little charm that I got that I was talking about, my necklace. Last week, I got this necklace my grandparents gave me years ago. I've been wearing it more. I said the wrong name. It's St. Christopher, everybody. I believe it's St. Christopher who was in charge of making sure that travelers be okay. That's who's on the pendant. A couple people corrected me on that, so I want to make sure I correct myself. And that's, whatever. I'm trying to, I don't fucking know how to get into this, but because I don't feel this way, but I'm trying to play with this idea of, am I a bad person? Because I like to have a little bit of fun. I laugh at stuff. I'm just wondering, because the people I seem to admire the most at this point in time, everybody who I enjoy and admire always seems to be chastised or, kind of, I don't know. People always have a problem with the people who I seem to admire. So I'm wondering if that makes me a bad person. You know what I mean? Like the people I've been looking up to lately. Jordan Peterson, for instance. I feel like I've gotten a lot of good out of my life from listening to Jordan Peterson and reading his books. And, I feel like I've gotten a lot of good from him. And I think he comes from a good place. I think he's a very heartfelt person. But then when you talk to other people or you turn on the news, he's the most evil man in the world for some reason. And people think he shouldn't have a voice and they should shut him down. Same thing with Alex Jones. Listen, Alex Jones ain't the holy fucking grail for me, but I admire a guy who is willing to speak his mind regardless of how crazy he sounds. He comes from the heart. Whether you agree with him or you don't agree with him, he's a guy who comes from the heart and I think genuinely wants to look out for people. You know what I mean? Same thing with Jordan Peterson. But these people are always chastised and fucking told to shut up and be quiet and deplatformed. And if you bring them up to other people who don't know shit, they look at you like you're a fucking lunatic. They say very mean or hurtful, hateful things about these people that I admire and I look up to. So it's like, if I'm looking up to these people who are deemed bad people, does that make me a bad person? That's what I've been trying to play with lately, you know? Same thing with this Andrew Tate fella, you know? I don't know a ton about this guy, but he's been locked up for almost a month now, him and his brother. And I know it's a very controversial figure, and he's a misogynist, and he's a bad person, all this and that. The same fucking narrative they say about every goddamn person. They try to be quiet. But it seems, again, another guy who the stuff I've listened to from him, I feel like has lifted my spirits and put me in a better place. You know what I mean? Now, whether or not he was sex trafficking people, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it. It doesn't seem like he was, you know, because it seems like if that were the case, there would be some sort of proceedings going on about that right now. And the truth of the matter is, these people who the media is claiming were his victims and were sex trafficked have come out on their own and been like, that didn't happen at all. I'm not a victim. Please stop saying that. And I know people said the same thing about R. Kelley and this, that, and the other. So it's a very weird thing. But when the people who you're claiming to be the victims of a heinous crime come out and go, that's not what happened at all, and then you still fucking just keep towing that narrative, that's very weird to me. But anyway, I've just been playing with this idea because for some reason, everybody I seem to look up to and admire in some way and seem to have enriched my life seems to be condemned and told to shut up, been told they're bad people by people who I think are bad people. You know what I mean? So what the fuck is going on? It's just, it just dawned on me last night. I was just thinking about it and going, man, everybody I look up to, everybody who seems to have enriched my life in some way or another, some sort of guidance, shit like that, become a teacher in some way, is viewed as a bad person to a lot of people for no reason, I don't think. So where does that leave me in life? You know what I mean? And especially, listen, comedy-wise, that's like, I haven't been hanging out with people most of the time anyway, dude. It's just, those are the most people I interact with, right? That I have to deal with. And I just, you know, I can't fucking communicate with them because they're the same people who it's like you be in a green room with 7 other comics and they're having some conversation about how Jordan Peterson's a piece of shit. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there with his book in my backpack. You know what I mean? Waking up earlier, treating people nicely, treating myself better, working out but more. You know what I mean? Having a routine in life that genuinely puts me in a better place mentally, physically, emotionally because of this guy. And I'm listening to people who are my peers, who I'm supposed to be working with, and they're just fucking running this guy through the gutter, talking about how he's a piece of shit, this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? And where does that leave me? What am I going to do? Fucking go, wait a minute, guys. He's not a bad person. You could try and talk to these fucking brick-headed motherfuckers. You know what I mean? It's a very weird position for me to be in. The fuck am I supposed to do? You know, I just mind my fucking business and go, these people are idiots. And then I just don't want to be around them anymore. You know? Because now all of a sudden, oh, you're a Jordan Peterson fan. You're a Joe Rogan guy. Oh, you're an Andrew Tate guy. That's what people start calling you. And they don't even fucking take a chance to listen to you or have any fucking want to know what you think or how you feel. Because it's like, you know these people. And they go, well, Joe's not a piece of shit. Right? In theory, they would go, Joe's not a piece of shit. And if he doesn't think this person that I think is a piece of shit, maybe I should hear him out and give him a second chance or whatever. But that's not the fucking case. You know what I mean? They go, Jordan Peterson's a piece of shit. Joe, you're a piece of shit. I didn't know you were a piece of shit, dude. I didn't know you were a fucking piece of shit, racist motherfucker. I didn't know you were homophobic and sexist and all these fucking things. But, that's the world we live in now. That's the world we live in. So most of the people I interact with, I can't even discuss who I admire and I look up to and it put me in a better position in life because they already have a fucking idea of how bad these human beings are to begin with. You know what I mean? It's fucking insane, people. It's a very lonely life, this comedy game that I've been playing. So it is what it is, but you find good people along the way, but I always feel like I'm in the minority. I'm in the minority of the minority. And don't know how I got there. Don't know why, but it's fucking, it sucks a lot of the time. But that's why you guys are here, because you lift me up. You know I'm not a fucking terrible person. I might laugh at shitty things. I might go, hey, keep playing a fucking football game despite somebody dying, because who gives a shit anyway? We're not good people. We never were good people. We're never going to be good people. We got to quit pretending, But anyway, thank you for being here for me, people. I appreciate it. There's got to be somebody out there telling you to get your shit together. So I've listened to a few people that have told me to get my shit together, but it seems like anytime somebody's telling me to get my shit together and I go, that's a good person, everybody else who I'm around goes, dude, that guy's a fucking asshole. And it's like, well, how? Why? And they don't have any reasons for it. It's just mindless fucking chirping. They just use these buzzwords. They go sexist, homophobic, racist, this, that, and the other, but they have no actual way of proving their claims. So rather than have that discussion, you'll just be condemned to be the things that you'll be the same thing that they claim the other person is. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you defend racism. And it's like, I don't know how that don't know how I started doing that or when, but apparently if you fucking like Jordan Peterson or Alex Jones or, that's the other thing, Trumper now. Everyone's like, dude, you sound like a Trumper. And it's like, what the fuck does that even mean? I mean, first of all, anybody who's using the word Trumper is using it in a negative context, right? There's a lot of negativity associated with people going, you're a Trumper. So how isn't that hate speech as much as it is calling somebody gay? You know what I mean? You go, you're gay. They go, that's hate speech. But, it is what it is. Fine, it is hate speech. Let's go with that argument that it is hate speech. So what's the difference between calling someone gay in a non-homosexual way and going, that's hate speech, as opposed to going, that person's a Trumper? You know what I mean? It's the same thing, it's the same coin, just a different fucking side. Because all you're doing is going, I don't like that person. That person's a bad person. They're a piece of shit. They're all these things. So you're just being hateful towards them. You know what I mean? That's just the fucking world we live in. I've been doing my thing on Facebook, trying to build that following up. Somebody goes, dude, you sound like a Trumper. It's like, get the fuck out of here with your hate speech, bro. Blocked. Don't have time for you. Don't have time for you with going calling people Trumpers. I'm not a Trumper. Don't vote for Trump. You sound like a Trumper. Well, I don't need your negativity and your hateful soul coming into my world with your fucking Ukrainian flag. And you're like, I've been boosted 3 times. Good for fucking you. Good for fucking you pretending to be a good person. And then out here using fucking shitty fucking words, calling people Trumpers. You know what I mean? You're not a good person. Just because you put a fucking flag on your profile picture and you go, I got my shots. You're a piece of shit. Grow up. Quit fucking putting people into these boxes surrounded by this fucking word that you fucking have for them. Trumper. Well, what does that mean? What does that mean? You think I'm stupid? Is that what that means? Because you think anybody who voted for Trump is stupid? Is that what you're saying? Fucking idiots, man. Fucking idiots. And it's also a thing where I got the people who've been fucking with me, you guys have been fucking with me, you know what I mean? And I don't want a mob attacking somebody for being stupid, especially on social media. I know how fucking mobs can get on Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that. And I don't want people who fuck with me when people say shitty things to me to go after them. You know what I mean? So I'll just eliminate it. I don't want to block somebody, but it's like, go fuck yourself. Get out of here then. What are you doing here? If you don't like what I'm saying, if you want to, throw slurs and derogatory words around, go do it somewhere else. Because it don't bother me that much. I don't care. Whatever you need me to be, I'll be, bro. You understand? I'll be whatever the fuck you need me to be. I don't care. Whatever you need to project on somebody, I can be that person. If you need a piece of shit in your life, come find me. I'll be that person for you. It don't matter to me. But I also don't want a fucking mob of people coming after you saying a bunch of stupid shit to you now. Because then it just perpetuates this fucking shitty fucking cycle of nonsense and hate that is just consuming the world at this point in time, We don't need it. Don't need it at all. I don't need you in my life saying shitty things, and I don't need the people who enjoy me and don't think I'm a piece of shit coming after you and calling you a piece of shit. Unless it comes down to it, people. If I get thrown in jail for some bullshit or if I get fucking deplatformed for running my fucking mouth, then speak up for me. But don't go with fucking attacking somebody because he's a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? Just don't need it. Just don't need it at all. So it is what it is. It's an interesting thing that happened this past week. It's fun to see the following kind of grow and then the things that people get upset about when I post. And it's like, I've been posting this shit my whole life. So where were you fucking 10 years ago when I've been saying the same shit over and over again? You weren't there, but now it's like, it's funny that people want to come out of the woodwork and, call you names and all this and that and go, oh, I thought you were smart, but you sound like a Trumper. Well, you sound like a fucking idiot saying that stupid shit too there, bucko. You fucking gay? You fucking gay? How about that? There's these people fucking just pretending to be good people all the time are always the most fucking hateful human beings ever, dude. Always the most fucking hateful people are the ones that are pulling the flag, the good person flag, and they're not. They just know what they're supposed to do to look like a good person, because the handbook is out there. Everyone knows what the handbook is. You get your fucking COVID shot. You support Ukraine. You vote Democrat. You love gays. Black Lives Matter. Jewish lives matter. Asian lives matter. We all know the fucking playbook to be a good person. That's why it's easy to do. But at the end of the day, it's what's in your heart. You understand? And all these fucking people that want to tow all the flags and got all the yard signs and shit, they're fucking hateful human beings, bro. They're fucking hateful. They genuinely are. They're sad sacks of shit. And that's why they don't like people. Because they're sad on the inside and they want everybody else who's not sad to be fucking a sad sack of shit like them. And I don't play that shit. So it is what it is, but I don't need fucking people getting attacked for no fucking reason because some fucking idiot, says some stupid shit. So we just eliminated the problem. And I hate doing that. I really do. But I don't want to. I don't want my fucking Instagram page or social media or whatever it is to turn into a fucking war zone for goddamn idiots. I don't need that in my life. It would be fun to watch. I'm not going to act like shitty comments ain't fun to read, but I just don't need that in my fucking life. So it is what it is, It is what it is. This will be a clip. I'll fucking definitely cut this up and post it, let people know how I'm fucking feeling about shit. But let's see what happens with this one. Let's get you the animal video clip of the week. Get you on your fucking way, people. I love it. I love where my head's at lately. I just don't give a fuck. The future is bright, people. As dark as it is, fucking it is bright. There's so fun. Anyway, animal video clip of the week. Get you on your fucking way. This was a nice little clip. It's nothing bad was going to happen to the guy, but it could have. It's a guy, he's just fucking with a python. You know what I mean? He's got this long python wrapped around his body, and he's got like the tail in one hand and the head in the other hand, and the python's coiled around him a little bit, and he's laughing, having a good time, and all his friends are like, yeah, look at you with the python around you. Ain't that great? Oh, fucking make sure we get some nice pictures and some nice videos. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm so cool. I'm having a great time with this python. Oh, what's going to be great when I kiss this python on the head and fucking show this python who's boss, because I'm the king shit playing with this python, Well, he tries to kiss that python and it just latches onto his face, and pythons aren't poisonous, but they do have a lot of teeth. So I am sure that it hurt like a motherfucker. But the best part is he can't get it off his face, you know? And all his friends who were cheering him on and going, oh, this is great, this is fun, they can't get the python off either. So it's latched onto his face. They eventually do get it off his face, and then he's bleeding a little bit. But it is very fun to see your friends going, yeah, bro, go, bro, go. And then when shit goes down, they can't fucking help you. You know what I mean? That's I'd always be concerned about a group of people cheering you on, you know? You ever watch any videos where people are fighting and there's always like a group go, yeah, kick his ass, you know, fucking, they're just laughing at you. That's what they're really doing. You know what I mean? They're not going to help you out when shit goes awry. Same thing with that snake, bro. You had a bunch of fucking idiots hyping you up going, yeah, dude, kiss that fucking snake, bro. Kiss that fucking snake. And then it bites you in the face. And then they're like, oh, fuck, we don't know what to do, you know? So be wary. Weary or wary? I believe the word is wary. Be wary of any time there's a group of people hyping you up to do some stupid fucking shit that you know you probably shouldn't be doing. You know? Because it'll go to your head, and then all of a sudden you'll be the cool guy trying to kiss a fucking snake, and then you can't get it off your fucking face. Yeah. They've been doing construction. Dude, I think if you want to make money doing nothing, get a fucking job doing construction, bro. You can just take pills and hold a stop sign all day. What fucking, and you're probably getting paid $24 an hour to take pills and stand around. You know? They got people digging holes out here by my mailbox, right? They got 8 people out there. And 2 of them are actually doing something. Construction. What a fucking scam, bro. You can be on drugs and do construction. That's what's cool about it. You know? You can't do like uppers. You got to do downers. They can't have somebody out there fucking, you know, shucking and jiving with the goddamn stop sign, spinning it like it's one of those fucking, those Pizza Hut signs when they got the 2 for $5 deal or whatever it is, throw it in the air, catching it, you know. You got to have someone who's a little bit sleepy, a little bit nodding off. Just hold this stop sign, bro. Take a nap. Ain't no one going to drive down the street anyway. It's a dead-end fucking street. You really need somebody holding a stop sign on a dead-end fucking street when you don't start work until after everybody's already gone to work? You know what I mean? Just a little tip out there. Hey, if you got a drug problem, get a fucking construction job, all right? And then, you know, you drop some concrete on your foot. All of a sudden, they're paying for your pills now. Think about it. I'm out here helping the people. You know what I mean? Be on the lookout for clones, take some pills, get a job in construction, quit pretending to be a good person. You know what I mean? Be who you are. Be who you are. What's in your soul? You know what I mean? Don't pretend. Listen, thanks for checking out the podcast this week, everybody. Hope we had a little bit of fun. I hope you had a fucking great goddamn weekend. I will be some shows coming up, you know what I mean? Nashville, Tennessee, February 9th, Sonny's Patio Pub. I'm headlining that. Please come through. Also, Omaha, Nebraska next month, Flint, Michigan, Memphis, Michigan. What do we got? Lowell, Arkansas, St. Louis, Missouri, Syracuse, New York, fucking Lexington, Kentucky. Also going to be in Paducah, as well as Murray, Kentucky, all through May. Some shit coming up in April as well. Viva la raza, baby. You know what I mean? Joe Kelley Comedy has all your upcoming dates. Go check it out. Once again, thank you for checking out the podcast, everybody. Thanks for fucking with me. Thanks for supporting me. I certainly goddamn appreciate it, and I hope your life is in a place that you never imagined it would be in on the good side of things, you know? And if it's on the bad side of things, you go, I didn't think my life would ever be as fucked up as it is right now. It's temporary, all right? Get it together. Fucking flip that shit around, all right? Do me a favor before you get out of here. Take care of yourself and take care of somebody else, all right? I'll catch you around real fucking soon. Later. YouTube friends, what's up? You guys, best fucking people on planet Earth in my book. You know that. You know you have a special place in my heart. I love you. I love you for being here. I love you for supporting this. I love you in the comments. I love you talking to me. You know what I mean? Do you believe in clones? Do you believe clones are real? Is it possible if they're not real? Is it something that's coming in the future? Or is it all just going to be AI robots that look like us, that talk like us? But are there clones that exist? Is Damar Hamlin a clone? Or are people just fucking stupid? Let me know in the comments. Either way, I love you. I hope things are good for you. I hope you're in a good place in life. And if you're not, flip it around. You can't expect to keep doing the same shit and expect a different outcome. That's insanity. Wake up a little bit earlier. Spend some time sitting by yourself in the quiet. Think about what it is you got to do. Write that shit down. Look at it. Fucking hold yourself to a standard that nobody else is going to hold you to. Because, people want to coddle you and pretend you're a great person, even though when you know your life is shit, and that ain't going to get you nowhere. You know the truth about yourself, and you know what you got to do to flip it around, people. So do it. Quit wasting your time with bullshit. Don't let nobody fucking feed you bullshit and tell you it's pizza. That ain't how it works. All right? I love you. Take care. Have fun. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your week. I'll talk to you next week. Maybe sooner. Who knows? I'm in and out, but definitely next Monday. But who knows? We might have another Monty Mitchell special coming up soon. You don't fucking know. I'm going to keep you on your toes, all right? Have fun. Once again, I love you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it, man. Take care of yourselves, all right? Sucking on my titties like you wanted me, calling me.